Hey,
Hey.
welcome back to the Living ABSD podcast. I'm your host, AB, short for ABSD. I use they, them pronouns. And I'm very excited today to have a special guest and friend here in this space as a divinely unique being. KJ, it's such an honor to have you and your perspective here in the Living ABSD podcast and to get to share this space. Our friendship has a special place in my heart, and I got to meet you in a time in my life when um, I was transitioning and navigating big things in my world, and just getting to have your grounding presence and your experience to help guide me through my own experience was really special. And to get to have your perspective have light on it here in this space. I'm really excited for the conversation and to see what comes out. So I'd love to give you space to introduce yourself before we ground in and get started.
Thank you so much, AB. I love you so much, and our friendship means the world to me.
Mm.
Um, yes, I am KJ Whitney, really grateful founder, massage therapist, and personal development coach with Proud Community Massage Clinic, and a founder of the Proud Collective now. So, thank you so much for having me.
Such an exciting new shift into the Proud Collective and to see where that goes. As we ground into this space, I'd love to invite you and anyone that's listening to take 3 grounding breaths with us. If you are in a place where you can close your eyes, wonderful. If you're driving a car, keep your eyes open, but you can still breathe with us. All right, let's breathe. I call upon our divine spirit team and guides, invisible forces, and any energy that vibrates at divine love or higher that wishes to enter into this space with us now. As we set this space and container, I ask that we bring in joy and fun into this conversation, that all beings that are meant to hear and get sparked of inspiration or curiosity hear this conversation exactly when it is meant to find you. I ask that we get to shine light and create new openings into people's lives to something more. And so it is.
So it is.
To start our convo today, I love to start with the same question. And I am curious if there have been any key turning points for you in your journey or breakthroughs that have really been a shift from one place to the next.
Yeah, it's a really great question. Um, yeah, definitely, for sure. I'm picking which one to talk about or which ones to talk about. There's so many, but one thing that I have noticed is that most of these shifts happen really unceremoniously for me. It's just like a switch flips in my brain, and I'm like, okay, and we're done with that, or this is what we're doing now, or that kind of thing. And so, in some of my younger years, that looked um, like when I decided to start being more active physically, I was feeling um, weak and afraid in my body. I felt susceptible to injury. I was really sick of feeling scared as a when I was presenting differently. Yeah, I don't know. A woman's body is so um what am I trying to say? It's like people feel like they can do whatever they want to it. There's seemingly a lack of agency. And for me, getting being more physically active and strength training and just like learning some self-defense and stuff like that felt really important and empowering. So that's what I did. And it was a complete lifestyle switch. And from that day forward, I think I was about 25, 24, 25. And from that day forward, I worked out every single day. And, here and there I don't and whatever. But yeah, so there's that. Um, the the day that I learned that I could use they them pronouns, the day that I learned that I could take hormones, the day I realized and had language for my own transness, uh, switch flipped. And that was when I was 38. Um, the day that I stopped pedestalizing my stepfather and stopped excusing his behavior. And the day I stopped calling him my father, that was a day too, and the day that I quit smoking. I smoked for 25 years
Mm.
and unceremoniously, I tried and I tried and I tried and whatever. But it was the doctor who said we're not going to perform top surgery if you're continuing to consume nicotine in one way or another. And I was like, well, all right, well, we're done with that. And that was it. So, and that was actually this October 19th, that'll be 4 years, 4 years ago. So, yeah.
Hmm. I love thinking about the switch flipping on and these shifts happening around. Just, okay, yeah, I'm done with that now and moving forward and from it. And thinking about your 24, 25-year-old self feeling like you wanted to feel strong and empowered inside and what that did for you outside and how that continued to then get to unravel to some of these other key turning points you mentioned and how the strength and confidence you built inside your physical body also helped shine that on the outside too.
Yeah.
I, as you think about those turning points and those breakthroughs, what kind of setbacks or challenges were attached to those? Um, and what'd you learn through overcoming it?
Is it okay to ask before I answer that? Like, is it okay to ask how has a switch ever flipped for you like that in your own life? Or like, what does your process look like? I'm
Yeah,
curious.
good ask. Um, yeah, I would definitely say switches have flipped in my brain too. And also similar around my transness, I think where a lot of those switches have flipped on. I didn't know the word non-binary existed, let alone the binary world that we live in. That was not language that I had. And there was one day that my guides came to me and were like, "You're non-binary." I'm like, "How can I be something I don't know what it means? Like what?" Um,
Yeah.
and that was a switch that flipped on very quickly for me. And um, I didn't know what to do with the on of that. And so my process from that point actually was pretty dark for a few months of just navigating the darkness inside to then come to the other side of that and have more understanding after I did some research and rooting in and even the permission, like you said, to use they them pronouns. Uh, that was a big switch flip for me. And what happened inside of my body after the fact of the calmness that I had never felt inside of the chaos um, was confirmation for me in ways that I didn't know that I was searching for, but I've now gotten to live from that place of just the settling through the chaos of the storm.
Mm, hell yeah.
Yeah, it is pretty fucking
Beautiful.
awesome. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, of course. What I'm gathering is that switches get stitches. No, give stitches. There it is.
Yeah. Our scars help us remember our stories.
Absolutely, absolutely. And they remind us that we survived.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we've survived every single thing we've gone through so far.
Yeah. Yeah, and I guess to that, the road the I don't remember how you phrase it, but like the roadblocks or the I think more about the consequences of those changes. Um, every time I have that switch has flipped and my life has changed, um, it means that everyone around me who maybe was attached to what I how I previously was or my previous way of existing or being has to adjust. And if they can't, that means that they don't get to come with me anymore. And that has happened over and over as well. And yeah, I mean, I'm thinking of several examples, but one is like, one of my best friends are of God, 12 years or something. Our relationship was built on 20-minute increments, 15-minute smoke breaks, when we were hanging out for the first, whatever, however many years, almost, yeah, like 8 years or something. So that has been a huge adjustment in our relationship because I don't smoke anymore, but he does.
Mhm.
And that was a big that was a big insecurity for me too, even as I was approaching quitting, even as I was trying and trying and trying to quit, talking with him and just being like, I'm afraid that we're not going to be friends anymore. And
Mhm.
thankfully we are still friends and like it's all good, but some people can adjust and others can't. And there's for some changes, some people are attached to and benefit from the ways you used to be that maybe don't work for you anymore.
That makes me think about boundaries
Mm,
and learning how to set and honor your boundaries as you are changing or integrating to these new versions of self or um, navigating as relationships are growing with you or dying away. And how have you learned to navigate your own boundaries and set those as you have gone through shifts and changes?
mm. It's tough. It's really tough. Um, it's like internally, I want to say like I talk a big game or something, but I don't necessarily mean that so much as I mean things can make really logical sense and um, but when pushed or challenged, especially by people that I love and care about, I can fawn. I
Mhm.
can fawn or freeze or um, sometimes fight, but and I think in some cases, depending on the circumstances, after fighting so much or fighting for the relationship, and that's what I mean when I say fight. It's especially when I'm talking about boundaries like that. When I get upset, it's because at a person for violating a boundary that maybe they knew or didn't know about. It's me fighting for the relationship. It's I still want to be in relationship with you and I still want to love you. And but relation or boundaries are the distance at which I can love you and me simultaneously. And that is not mine. That is someone else's, and I can't remember their name right now, but they're a trans person, and I really appreciate their work. They're a brilliant writer. Anyway, I want things to stay. I like familiarity. I want them to stay the same as much as possible. But everything changes, and transition is hard whether or not you want it. And so sometimes there have been times where I have fought for relationships that actually need to fall away. If if not temporarily, then forever. And
Mhm.
yeah, it's tough. It's just tough. And so I'm definitely not great or perfect at holding boundaries but man, I pay for it when I don't.
Mhm.
the discomfort of holding a boundary is will always be worth the result, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Boundaries are so uncomfortable to set, especially with people where we haven't set boundaries previously. And it's for me, I'm learning how to set the boundary before it's actually crossed. But sometimes within my own system, I'm like, I only learned that was a boundary now that it has been crossed. And now I'm very uncomfortable. And now I have to be even more uncomfortable and tell you that I'm uncomfortable and all the
Yeah.
different pieces that go with that. And um, yeah, I just admire you for continuing to show up to trying and to navigating the process that goes along with that, especially like in relation to relationships and how like so many relationships do fall out when they're meant to, and some circle back a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And to know that boundaries, yeah, help keep us safe in the process. And um, I I think as you've spoken to relationships and to boundaries, I am curious if there are people in your life as you have continued to honor yourself and to set boundaries and to learn what KJ needs to keep themselves safe. If there have been people in your life who have gotten to travel with you through all of that. As I've gone on my own journey, there have been a lot of people who have fallen out of my life in the process. And I still think watch from a distance, and that's beautiful, but are no longer in the front seat of my life. And there have been a couple that have really held strong. So I'm curious of what that looks like in your world.
Yeah, I really what you said about people losing a lot of people in the process of change, feel that really resonates. Oof, that hits. Um, and it's never easy. Well, it's usually not easy, but yeah, and because of yes, there are people who I've known and been friends with for I don't know, 30 years or something, which is a fucking wild thought. Sorry, can I swear? I don't know. Okay. Great. Um, but because of my the transient nature of my early life, um, some of those people, I can think of one person, my buddy Dave, who I met when I was 16. So that was almost 30 years ago. That was 28 years ago. Holy shit. Anyway, he is still very much in my life today. And I wish I could say it was because of my efforts, but I'm not gonna lie, like I have some real issue with object permanence. So like if you're not in my face, I it's not that I forget you, it's just that I forget to get in touch because our relationship stopped right where we left off. And 99% of the time, that's a really beautiful place that I'm just like holding you in such high regard in my system, and I'm just loving you. And it could be a week or 4 months that have gone by, and that has not changed. And it doesn't make a difference to me. I will pick up right where we left off, and that's okay. And what I have learned is that that is not okay with a lot of people.
Mm,
That's really hard for a lot of people. And I it's it's a thing that I don't love the impact on people that I love. It is a thing that I have for years have been trying to change, and it's only in recent times, last couple of years or so, that I just am like, I'm so sick of hating myself for this. So I now am just really honest with people about who I am, and it's not yeah, the self-hate that it brings up every time I hurt somebody is like, and it still have I'm still regret I'm still like Um, I'm still so sorry when it happens and empathetic and all of that. I'm just no longer willing to beat myself up about it so hard, and try to change myself in a way that I just am not, I'm clearly not going to change. I've been trying to change it for 30 years or something or longer. And so it's just not going to. Not that I don't want to work on it again. It's just, I'm just not going to beat myself up about it anymore. And so what I do is say things like, I'm really sorry I'm bad at text messaging back, or, whatever. Sometimes it takes me days, or, whatever. And because my life is, I work for myself, and my work life doesn't go away when my workday ends. Um, which may or may not speak to my own boundaries around work. But, look, I'm a Capricorn. What do you want me to say? So,
You.
but the people who can roll with that with me are the people I that are gonna come with me on whatever journey, and I'm gonna be really fucking grateful. And and I know that I've hurt some really important people along the way, and I hate that. So I wish I were cooler, but this is what's real.
Well, I think you're cool because you're real. And that's something I appreciate greatly. And I also am so proud of you for releasing yourself of the self-hatred that comes along with not following up, and like that not being one of your strengths, because you were describing it and I was like, oh yeah, I'm that way. It's like that person holds such a special place in my heart and I see you again. And it's like we picked up when no time has passed. And there's so much beauty in that. And I also haven't heard it through that lens before of the way that you spoke it. And yeah, I too can resonate with hurting people along the way and not even consciously realizing that I've done it, because that's not how I work or roll. And so I I appreciate how you've set things and standards in your life with the relationships that you build now, knowing that about yourself. And even in my own life, I can take a note from that of how to set myself and others up for success in building relationships moving forward. Uh, and I would say that's a sign of strength within yourself, of knowing what you are and how you are and being able to show up in that. And it makes me curious of how your definition of strength has developed and changed since you embarked on a healing journey.
Yeah. Oof. Um, and what a good question from where we started about, like, at 25 wanting to become physically strong. And I think later in life, um, as I've gotten into my, 30s and 40s, I now want to be emotionally and mentally strong. Um, and for me, that looks like knowing who I am so that I can tell you and we can have successful relationships. Um, one one thing, I mean, I am very relationship centered, and we're all hardwired for connection, right? Like, thank you, Brene, but I, I my life is nothing without you, without my partner, without my friends, without the important relationships in my life. And so I center them. Making money, capitalism, all of that will never be more important to me than you. Never. And so knowing who I am, telling you who I am, learning who you are, that's everything to me. That is strong. Staying is strong. Being curious is strong.
Mhm.
Knowing my own wounding enough to know what it feels like in my body so that when it comes up, I can pause, take a breath, and not lash out at you as the person who loves me. That's strong. And I don't always succeed, but I'm trying. I'm doing my best, and I'm learning more every day how to navigate this brain of mine, this neurodivergent brain of mine, queer brain of mine.
Magical brain of yours.
Thank you. Magical brain of yours. Ugh.
Love it. I see you trying, and I really see so much strength in that and through you in that. And um, even the short amount of time that I've known you, I mean, it's what, like, we're fully over a year now. I feel like we're like almost a year and a half of knowing each other.
Wow.
That's crazy.
That's right. It was Pride of 2023, 4. It
Time,
was
it doesn't really matter. But
20.
I like even in that short period of time, it's cool to witness you trying because it also inspires other people to try and
Mm,
to show up to learning about why my brain works the way that it does and being able to show up with more understanding of myself so that I can meet other people in that understanding and then meet you where you are. And I really see that in you. And I see that in the way that you communicate with people face to face and um, sometimes meet people multiple times, but knowing that I'm still going to meet you where you are, even in that, which there's a lot of beauty. And so I appreciate the example that you set in trying
And same. Sorry, say again.
and the strength that comes with that.
Thank you. And same, like you inspire the shit out of me. It's really I love I love being around people who have I love the overlap of strengths and like where we can communicate our feelings and like emotional intelligence and all this kind of stuff. Love. And you have such different strengths than I do, and there's I love our differences because you give me permission to
Mm,
continue on in my journey and take risks,
mm,
big big steps, and fuck it, just do it kind of whatever. And also to take a step back
mm,
and reassess and say, I rather than feel obligated to whatever process or whatever thing that you've built, but walk away from it for a second and say, is this what's working, what's not working, and then reintegrate. I chef's kiss. I'm just so in awe and inspired by you and so grateful to have you in my life and to watch you grow and succeed and be.
mm. Thank you. That's
Mm,
really cool to receive from you. And I just, I have so much gratitude for receiving it and also for the ways that we get to run parallel and then intersect and run parallel and intersect and to see the ripple effects that get to come from that because the way that you've impacted me and the words that you've shared about impact from me to you, it just, those ripples are so big. And that's what this space is for too, is to help create more ripples and to help inspire and encourage other people to go out and ripple in their own worlds. And we get to do that in such cool fucking ways. And getting to sit
yeah,
here and having a conversation like this is included in that. And I just, it's really cool to be surrounded with people who get to spark your curiosity and then lead to more. Um, and I just, yeah, I'm honored to be able to do that with you, for you, around you, all of it.
thank you.
Yeah. Mhm. If you can't tell, we're in friend love.
Yeah. It's so true.
For
We
all
have
the
the
people
hearts
out
coming
there
out of our eyes, you know? It's the
who
whole.
can't see the loving gaze. It's happening through the screen.
It's gross, really.
Yeah, it's
Threw up in
gross.
my mouth a little.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a really, really hard left turn right now into
Right. Yeah.
um, so we've talked about inspiration, curiosities, relationships, boundaries, all of that. And we talked about like discomfort with boundaries. And so I'm curious more around fear,
Mm,
of what your relationship is with fear. And I feel like going from this is an internal feeling to actually like setting the boundary or to doing the action, there is fear in that in between space too. So how do you navigate that within your own life?
mhm. What comes up for me when you ask about that? Certainly, I talked earlier about like a fight, flight, freeze, fawn kind of response, and those come from fear. And for me, um, in relationship, that comes from a fear of disconnection. That comes from a fear of taking away someone that I love, taking their love away from me, and and so there's that. But sometimes what can lead to that is when I am when the fear cycle has already started and I haven't been able to stop the spin. And so the stories, the behavior from fear, the way I interact from a place of fear. I mean, this is a daily fucking practice. I mean, I've got a narrative that's constantly running.
Mm.
I I said once, I've said several times, like, oh, I'm not a good storyteller. I'm not, I'm not creative in these ways or whatever. And it occurred to me, I was like, oh, absolutely not. This this brain of mine, I'm telling stories all the time. I'm making shit up all the time. I'm having full ass conversations with people who are not in front of me
Mm.
all the time.
Mhm.
It's exhausting. But I am very imaginative. About the things other people are doing or what their intentions are, with the way that they said a thing to me, and I'll just think about that for the next 4 days, whatever. Um, you know, and so how do I relate to my fear? I guess again, I have to be honest with people and I will do my best and use the tools I have with the capacity that I have. I will give it time. I will give it space. I will pause. I will breathe. And if all of that doesn't work, or I'm still having that story, or I'm still having those questions, or if the story that you're going to pull your love away from me, or I've done something wrong and you're mad and you're like quiet quitting our relationship, and if any of that is there, I am also practicing being very honest with people that I feel like I can actually practice that with.
Mhm.
And so, like for you, I would, if I thought that that was the case, if you said something in a weird way to me and I couldn't get over it, I would say, "Hey, what did you mean by this?" Or here's the story that I'm telling myself is
Mm.
one. I'm trying to remember who said it, but maybe it was Maria Bamford. I'm like a total comedy nerd. Maybe it wasn't her. It doesn't matter. But the point is that someone said, starting a sentence with to avoid resentment.
Mhm.
Da, 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 da. And I think that that's really smart. And those are the ways that I try to communicate with the people that I love and who are close to me and who I want to practice this level of honesty with and this level of emotional intimacy with. Because I want people who have staying power in my life. I want the 30-year friendships. I want family like that.
Mhm. Mm.
And so I have to keep showing up and being vulnerable. And the people who are going to show up and be vulnerable back with me are the ones that we get to do life together.
Mm. I really love that language, to avoid resentment, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like it gives room for anything to come out. It just like gives the space to clear the air. And one of my friends was telling me her and her partner have a rule where if it runs through her head more than 3 times,
Mm.
she's obligated to ask him about it, because it's like, if it's that much on your mind, clearly you need clarification, and to then gain the clarity, and whether it's nothing or something, you can then deal with it from that point. Um, and I've really enjoyed that. But for me, I also have the fear of moving from like, this is now ruminated in my head a few times. Now I have to be brave to go from fear to actually having that conversation. And I love the sentiment that you practice that within your relationships of building family and those lifelong relationships of, I feel safe to show up in this emotionally and mentally maybe just uncomfortable conversation, but knowing that through the fear, we find out the truth and the real relational connection through that. An old mentor of mine always said that just the same way you can spiral downward, you can spiral upward.
Mm.
And I try to keep that in mind when I'm in those ruminating downward spiral
Mm.
thoughts of, how can I pause this to see if I can spiral upward from this place. And yeah, I appreciate you in that. I appreciate you and all that you shared. Our timing is coming too close to an end, and so I'm going
Okay.
to ask our final question of, what wisdom or insights do you carry now with you that you didn't before?
I mean, I just gave them all to you.
The whole thing has
This is
been
all I know.
wisdom
No, I mean, look, and if I
insights.
learned anything from this experience, from this conversation, it's that, switches give stitches, and stitches give scars, and scars remind us that we survived.
Mm,
So
oh,
I
yeah,
mean, I don't know. I guess I'll leave it there.
I love it.
Yeah.
I want to give you space to tell people where they can find you if you would like people to find you off of this space.
Oh, okay. Let's see. I mean, I don't really fuck with socials because that's a hellscape. But I don't know, Google Proud Community Massage Clinic. If you're local in Longmont, come get a massage. We're right off of Hover and Mountain View. The number, you can, the website, don't go to the website. The website needs to be updated. Don't do it. But or you can reach us. You can text me directly at 720-310-2822
Amazing.
and come get a massage from me.
Mhm. You
Mm.
won't regret it. Every single person I've talked to, that I've gotten massages there, but that has been massage by KJ specifically, is like, it's a whole different experience that takes you into another world and connects you with your body and your spirit, and just,
Have I given you a massage?
you haven't given me a massage.
Oh, okay. I didn't think so. I was like, I don't remember us working together in that way.
Massages from other people who work for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is great. I love that.
I meet people in the community all the time that, um, when I like, somehow we get on queer topic and they're like, but do you know KJ Whitney? I'm like, yes.
Yes, of course I do. Yes.
Tell
Yeah.
me how you know KJ. What you
Yes,
love about them. There's just always so much love out for you in the community. Again, the ripples, the things we don't see.
I
Yeah.
love that. That's really sweet. I guess the
What?
only other thing I would promote would be the Proud Collective, which is the new nonprofit, which is putting queer people through massage therapy school and giving them jobs on the other side. So if you want to hear more about that, you can also reach me at pridefulwellness@gmail.com, or shoot me a text and we can set up a meeting. So
Amazing. Before I close this out for real, I want
yeah.
to give you an opportunity if there's anything else you want to add to this space before we sign off.
Mm. Just thank you for creating this space and inviting me into it and creating those ripples and I hope that everyone feels how special this space is and you are. And I hope that that impacts their day. I hope we made somebody smile today.
Mm, you made me smile.
And that's really all that matters.
Yeah, fuck you guys. I smile. No, really. I hope you smiled out there too.
Yeah.
And thank you for your kind words and for saying yes to the invitation. It's such an honor and a privilege to get to have you in this space and to get to have your voice as a unique perspective. And you are such a divinely unique being, and to show other people that the curiosities and the threads that you follow can lead to so much more and open up to those ripples like we've talked about and that have rippled through our whole conversation. And so thank you. And so much love to everybody out there listening. KJ, I love you deeply. And to all of you, I hope you take an inspiration, a curiosity, something with you to take with you on your day. Hopefully, a smile too. And I encourage you to go out, love loudly, be your most beautiful and authentic self. The world needs you as you, your unique thumbprint that you have to offer, because nobody else can bring that to the world except for you. With that, till next time, bye.
Bye-bye.